Well, would you look at that? What a coincidence. What's up everyone, John from Beyond ARTV. It's time to take a look at the 2018 MTV VMAs, aka the Video Music Awards, for all of you uncultured swine out there that didn't know what that stood for. I'm kidding, who's watching the VMAs anymore anyways? I guess they're trying to get a lot of people to watch, that's why they had so many people there, and they tried to include literally everyone and anything that they possibly could, because their ratings have taken a massive slide. Now, I'm not going to be ranking every single performance. I'm not talking like the pre-show stuff or even the push artists that they tried to shove in during the commercial breaks or when the cameras were off for most people, I guess. I know that they performed too, but I'm going to be ranking the main 8 performances, everything from Post Malone to Nicki Minaj to Panic at the Disco and more. Who had the best of the best when it came to poise, performance, and also just the overall sound? Well, you're about to find out my take on everything, my personal opinions. Let me know what you thought of the VMAs and the best performances in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like, and let's go ahead and start off with my number 8 choice. At the bottom of the totem pole, number 8, I have Travis Scott with his underwhelming performance with 3 of the songs from his new album, Astroworld. Now, I know I just did that video about Nicki Minaj, Travis Scott, the whole beef there with the number 1 album. This isn't going to be relevant for long, but for the short time that it is, I'm sure they're both kind of in some way just really relishing this because they're both getting talked about so much that it's probably boosting both of their album streams and sales. But for the meantime, Travis Scott meandered out on stage and gave a relatively low-key performance. I understand that he probably saved some of his best stuff for an audience that isn't the VMAs, which is kinda, I feel like, trying to just always stay on the cusp of what's cool and what's culturally relevant, but that's been MTV from the start, so I can't say that that's anything new. I think that Scott was okay. I like that he switched out of the auto-tuned stargazing into some actual rapping where he didn't have the heavy vocoded auto-tuned vocals, sicko mode, and obviously stopped trying to be God. He had James Blake there with him, and it was fine. It was just a little bit boring. At the end of the performance though, he did kind of stir the controversy pot by saying Astroworld #1 album right now, so I'm surprised they didn't cut to a Nicki Minaj reaction face out in the audience and her going like. At number 7, we have Ariana Grande with her performance of God is a Woman. I was honestly pretty let down by this one because I was kind of expecting something larger than life, and not that she didn't deliver that in some ways. I just don't know, it felt like there was a key that was supposed to unlock something that didn't fully unlock something in me. I did like the set design, I liked the choreography and the synchronization okay. It just didn't really move me like I felt like they were trying to. I did like the part where they were all like linking hands and then going down the table. That was an interesting scenario and setup there, but overall I just feel like even though there were historical nods, just like in the video, the music video that is For God is a Woman, I just didn't really feel like it delivered anything all that special. I do love the fact that she brought out her grandmother and what I suppose is her mom at the end and kind of linked hands with them, and I know it was her grandmother's favorite song supposedly on her new album Sweetener, so it was nice to see. I knew she had a close connection with her grandfather who passed away, and now her grandmother's out there. It was just a really sweet moment. At number 6, we have Logic and Ryan Tedder performing their new song One Day, which I honestly don't care for. I felt like it was a very, very sterile and safe song talking about chasing dreams. Oh, maybe one day I can achieve this. But something about it made it sound better live. Now, this was before I fully got into the performance, started noticing what was going on. Then I caught on to Logic's shirt, which definitely made a big statement. Fuck the wall is what it read. And in the past, he's done this with his Spotlight, and even though I find Logic pretty annoying, I suppose that he does have some good messages and things that he does stand for. I often feel like he goes about it in a very cheesy way, but here I didn't mind it, and honestly his rapping was on point live. You could tell that it was live vocals, and I meant to say that about Ariana too. Definitely no lip syncing there. I like that she changed a few things up. You could tell with God is a Woman, and Logic kind of did that too with the way that he delivered here. Ryan Tedder definitely sounded competent on the piano, and outside of that, there was a big statement in the sense that Logic was leading a bunch of Hispanic children, something that is a big statement because of everything that's going on with the political divide, and obviously down at the border of Mexico, families being separated, children being taken from their parents, and then it was just really kind of nice to see at the end the fact that the families came out from behind the curtain and reunited with their children. It was something that put a smile on my face. And obviously this is something that's planned. It's a performance. Still, it's something that I would love to truly see come to fruition, at least in terms of the kids that are still separated from their parents. It was a nice gesture. Number 5, Nicki Minaj, coming out firing with rapping from her new album, Queen. She performed several tracks, a couple of interpolations, but the main ones that definitely stood out were obviously Majesty and Barbie Dreams. The diss track, which was actually just kind of playful. And I've definitely had my problems with Nicki lately, the tirades that she's been going on, the excuses that she's been making, but she was definitely in full control on that performance, at least especially in like the first half. Majesty sounded great. She looked great up on stage with her backup dancers. Everybody was actually doing their thing quite well, and the choreography was really nice and on point, and the fact that the crowd was going so wild for her, I just feel like that's truly some good fan support there, sticking by you even through some of the darker, more controversial times. And then she went into Barbie Dreams, of course, and that sounded great too. It's a playful, fun track that uses the Biggie sample well, and it was just fun to see that at the VMAs. Number 4, Panic at the Disco, High Hopes. I love the camera work that was done for this one, and the fact that, yes, it's been done before, but Brendan Urie started out in the crowd, behind the scenes, and I like the way that it was moving, and then it slowly works him down, and his suit was actually pretty badass, looking slick out there in the flower print suit. I think that this song sounds great as is. Honestly, even though I don't truly believe in guilty pleasures, this would be one if I believed in that. I do like this song, but it's not always like something that I feel would be my cup of tea. But this is a great track that I've still been coming back to despite not liking Pray for the Wicked, their most recent album. The song definitely popped off live. It has a lot of vibrato to it. I like the fact that he brought the horn section and the rest of the band there with him. It wasn't just a pre-recorded thing. Maybe it was, but still, at least they were there. The live vocals sounded good too, and there was a lot of energy in the performance. It seemed like Brendan was actually having a good time, and that translated to me, the viewer. Can I also just add that I wish I could give as few fucks as that kid sitting on the front row, like looking at his phone, like being like 2 feet away from Brendan Urie. I mean, I wish that I could give that little of a fuck about being close to all of these celebrities. I mean, to be young again, right? At number 3, we have the about 10-minute performance from Jennifer Lopez, the winner of the 2018 MTV Vanguard Awards. She took home one of the Moon Man trophies, and not just for that, she won a couple of other awards on the night too. It was something that was very interesting to see all of these songs that I know from my childhood, some of them at least, and I just remember her being kind of an icon of those days. And like I saw someone in a comment saying, she was never the most famous out there, but she was always hustling hard, whether it be music, movies. She might not have been on top, but she was still kind of conquering in her own ways. And seeing her perform with Ja Rule, everything from some of those tracks, you had obviously Jenny from the Block, and then she opened up on Get on the Floor, then going into Love Don't Cost a Thing. It was just really interesting. And then of course you had DJ Khaled coming out of nowhere seemingly, although I should have known that he was on the way and on the prowl, considering they showed a shot of his wife and his son Assad that he never shuts the hell up about, putting him on tracks, trying to put him on his album constantly. I don't know why exactly, but whatever, he's a proud father. But here, he walks out and starts introducing J-Lo before she gets into her next part of the 10-minute routine, and he starts saying, put your hands up, and instead of the overpaid hype man that he actually is, he sounds more like an overpaid TSA agent. I mean, he's saying, put your hands up, New York City. I mean, Doesn't that remind you a little bit of the last time you went through the security gates at JFK? I kid. It was still a good performance. Overall, I did get plenty of enjoyment from it, and yeah, really no complaints here. At number 2, we have an epic collaboration that started off a little bit shaky, I feel like, because I didn't know where it was going, but I love the fact that Post Malone had an actual guitarist out there, and it was something that adds a lot to the songs, and I'm like, why don't rappers do this more often? Because I'm okay with the trap beats and everything. Just add in a little bit of guitar here and there. It actually adds a little bit of spice and makes things nice. And then 21 Savage comes in for his verse on the song Rockstar, because Rockstar did win Song of the Year at the VMAs. And he sounded kind of shaky, especially at first when he was trying to do his auto-tuned singing part, but maybe that's their fault for not giving him the same mic that they gave Travis Scott. But then they finally break down the barrier and it goes into a collaboration with Aerosmith where Post Malone is on guitar. I don't know how much he was actually playing, but I was really surprised that they had Aerosmith there and in such a prominent role. In fact, it closed out the show. And yes, it was definitely epic. It was something that I absolutely loved. There was a scream part in Dream On, Aerosmith's hit song, where I feel like Steven Tyler, the lead singer, was a little bit either too flashy, or maybe it was ballsy and awesome. I don't know. I still haven't decided how I feel about it, but overall, him, Joe Perry, the rest of the guys, they were up there shredding, and I love the fact that they also played Toys in the Attic and not just, I don't know, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing or some bullshit there. They actually played a great track from 1975, and I was really stoked on the performance just to see them teaming up with Post. I mean, probably back in the day, if you ever told Aerosmith, like in the 70s or even the 80s, if you're gonna be teaming up with a rapper at the VMAs, they'd be like, what? But it surprisingly worked quite well. Finally, at number 1, we have Shawn Mendes with In My Blood. This was actually the first main performance of the night, and in my opinion, the best. It was rather simple. Shawn Mendes appeared on stage in a cut-off shirt, revealing some of his tattoos, and kind of like just a low-key outfit. It was fine, and I think that the performance was really great, honestly. Pretty engaging as he sang In My Blood off of his newest self-titled album. It was a great cut, one of my favorite hit songs of the year, and the fact that at the end, I was kind of wowed by the fact that it looked like it was raining all over the VMA audience, but it was kind of an optical illusion. It was actually just raining on Mendes on stage. It just kind of made it look like a badass 80s movie or something. I don't know, but I was really impressed, and I definitely loved this performance the most. What did you guys think of the VMAs this year? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. How would you rank the main 8 performances, and did you like any of the extra push artists or anything else like that? Be sure to drop a comment right now and leave a like on the video. If you're able to support me on Patreon, then please click that top link down below or tap this annotation in the corner. If you want to see my thoughts on the Nicki Minaj Travis Scott beef, then tap here or tap here for another recent video. Socials are all linked in the description, and I'll see you soon for more on Beyond ARTV.